some time since I reviewed a game about a cat. And, well, I happened to come across a game with a kitty. A pretty odd name, though. When I opened the game, I knew that this whole thing was going to be worth it. Or some of it, at least. When booting up the game, I thought to myself for a split second that this looks kind of like a Game Boy Advance game. Everything was going fine until I heard the story. The story involves this cat being chosen for some reason to explore a tower to the south. What is this reason? Well, there's a long list of them that this elder is too lazy to read. I'm sorry, but I'm not a big fan of these kinds of plots. Just seem lazy to me. Though in the game's context, somewhat fitting. It is short, simple, and to the point. Much like the gameplay, which happens right after we are given our little mission. This was the same engine used to make Knit Stories. So this is one of those games that you can play while you're waiting for a game to compile or a video to render. There's a couple similarities in the gameplay, like the ability to just press down and save your game, but there's a couple differences, like a map view and a completely open world. Yes, this is an open world platformer. I love this genre. At that, the game does a decent job of being one of these. Most of the time. Namely, if you can get over the controls of all the keys on the keyboard, why does shift make you jump? N did this, but in N, it just felt better for me for some reason. These physics are just too wacky for me to really get used to this control scheme. I don't know why it's Z or X, but shift. It's a key on the keyboard. At that, the control doesn't feel bad at all, really. It's reminiscent of old DOS games like Zargon. You feel completely in control of where you're going. The game's graphics and setup visually is similar to that of Akuji the Demon. In fact, it almost looks inspired by it. I have to say the graphics are pretty cool in the game. They're cartoony, and again, they seem to be reminiscent of a Game Boy Advance game. The maps scream more reminiscent of Rayman, specifically. For what the graphics are, they're fitting for the game, and I think it was best suited. The characters look good, and my only real problem with the sprites is that sometimes they're difficult to tell apart from a certain layer of the background, but that really depends on your screen, so not a huge issue. In terms of music and sound, they both work. Music's very catchy, and sound effects sound a bit stock. But hey, that's okay. Not the best material, but it works. The thing about the game that I found very interesting was the collection of abilities, like the ability to run faster, the ability to charge without the use of those arrow rings. It's a very nice structure, and to say the least, like I said about pretty much everything else, it works. Everything in the game properly functions as it should, and it's a fun experience that I play every now and again. None of the issues are really game-breaking, and there's nothing really super unique or super special about a game with a kitty, other than the fact that it has a kitty. But then again, lots of games have kitties. Or cats. I say, give this one a shot. See what you think about it.